High school, it's a nice mixture of geniuses, middle smartness people, and idiots. At college, I found it a huge relief that most intellectual people are the people that made it to the next step. But I soon realized that never in my life have I had to engage in debates that honestly I didn't even want to engage in. Like, I'll be sitting there and they ask me for my opinion, and when I give it, they want to debate it and refute it because it's not theirs. This probably comes from the fact that probably when these people were in high school, most of them were considered the smartest in their class, so they're used to being just told that they're right. I mean, I sure as hell was. Coming into college, I kind of expected that I would no longer be considered one of the smartest in my age group or whatever, my class, and so I figured that I would just kind of keep my opinions to myself. But almost no one else understands this concept. So I thought I'd give my complete and general opinion on debates. Any argument in the universe, even if correct, has a hole in it. There's many holes that you can exploit. In a debate where one side has the exact opposite of the other, there can only be one right answer, usually. Any debate in the world can be twisted on its head. Even the debate that Hitler was a bad person. Now, Hitler, if you don't know, is the most successful mass murderer of all time. He basically killed anybody who didn't have the right phenotype, or the right anything. Started what was the deadliest war of all time. And basically almost all the world wanted to be the one to shoot Hitler in the head, but in the end, he committed suicide. What if he didn't? What if he was captured alive and put into court? Sadly, how the judicial system works, he would have actually had a trial and a lawyer would have actually had to present his case. And they just may have gotten away with it if they did it in the right way. And this is probably what a lawyer would say in his regard. He was bullied as a child. He was a former artist. There was anti-communistic, believe it or not. Brother died when he was young, which is emotionally stressful. The war economy is important. Genocide is like abortion, so if abortion is legal, why isn't genocide? It takes a swamp to raise a monster, so it's actually no surprise that he became the man that we know as Adolf Hitler. Nazi ideals were instilled in him when he was in the war. Killing those people was actually a precursor to, shall we say, population control? Before you want to strangle me, in no way do I actually agree with the statements I just said, but unbelievably enough, all those statements are actually true. Isn't it weird that in a court of law, that just might be enough to make Hitler a free man? So what I'm saying is, in any debate, there is a side to be exploited, which is a side to be hyperbolized. Then in the debate comes morality. Now, morality might seem black and white in movies and TV shows and video games where it's shown as the clear, obvious choice is simple, but in real life, morality is really blurry and prone to change over time. The last question that he'd probably ask the jury is, could you bring yourself to kill baby Hitler? Yeah, morality is one of those topics that sadly end up in debates, even though every single person has different morality based on religion, personal experiences, beliefs that they just garnered coming up due to things that they've seen. You know what kills morality every single time? Math and science. But often the scientific thing to do seems a bit dark. Think of it this way. Do you know anybody that has HIV or any deadly and contagious disease? You may or may not, but imagine a loved one did. The government is like, hey, we're gonna take every single person in the world that has HIV, put them in a certain location, and then exterminate them from existence. So HIV will no longer be a problem for future generations, and it'll pay out as time goes on. Scientifically and mathematically, that's the best option, but would anybody in their right mind do it? No, because they have loved ones who they don't want to see just die in this, brainless decision. For every person that dies, good or bad, there goes all of their thoughts, all their memories, all of their unique personalities, all of what makes them genetically diverse from the other person. So a decision like that, although the scientifically and mathematically correct one, seems insane to everybody. One of the worst parts of a debate is guessing the psychological motivations behind one's actions. Take, for example, this. There is a man and he's in a restaurant with a girl and he drinks some water. Why did he drink the water? 9 out of 10 of you have probably said, oh, because he was thirsty. And that's probably the answer, but the thing is, in the court of law, you cannot assume anything, because anything is possible. And in the mind, it's not like you can have this scanner that reads people's minds like the superhero movies you see. So or like The Mentalist, so there's never a time where you can truly know someone's intentions, which lawyers can exploit. Maybe he was thirsty, wanted to look less awkward in front of his date, saw someone in the restaurant do it, and then that psychologically motivated him. Thinks it makes him look classy, was bored, his food is too spicy, he wants an excuse to use the restroom. Point is, in the court of law, when it comes to psychological motivations, it's always a weak point because you can never know the true intentions unless we somehow find this brain cap to read people's minds. Finally, on one side of the debate or the other, there's always a bunch of pros and cons you can put on both. And really, personally, you're gonna pick a side based on your pros and cons and how you weigh each pro and con. Just because you weigh it a certain way doesn't mean that the next person's gonna weigh it the same way. So what I'm saying is, in any debate, people will use facts, angles, science, debates, and emotions to prove that their point is right, even if their point is really faulty or weak. And sadly, debates are not determined by if something is right or wrong, but rather if someone presents it right. And that is the reason why I choose to not engage in them. Furthermore, all of this is saying is, I think debates are stupid. Even this debate, I'm pretty sure you've seen a bunch of fallacies in all of what I said. Every single debate, every single argument, retarded beyond all measure. But they're necessary. Necessary for intellectual growth. A Darwinism, if you will. No one challenges your opinions, then what motivation do you have to make it better? To learn, to strive, to be the best you can be, to make more sense to the next person you explain something to. Debates, it's kind of like exercise. I really hate to do it, but honestly, it stimulates the brain, it makes it stronger, makes it better, and I say bring it on.